Hey everyone, it's Chris Loud. Yesterday I started working on this 20 by 24 inch canvas, or roughly 50 by 60 centimeter canvas, and realized very quickly that I was not having a lot of fun. I was really overthinking everything. I kept fiddling with it, trying to make things kind of work, and this is just the underpainting. Although this is kind of guiding a little bit of the direction I'm going in, or want to go in, I should say. But today I thought I would completely reset and just have a blast throwing a bunch of chaos onto this canvas, and I'll let that dry and come back to it and then start reworking it from there. So I just started grabbing whatever I had nearby. I grabbed a black alcohol marker, just started making any squiggly marks I wanted to, and then grabbed the can of water-based spray paint, a little cardstock stencil, and started using that. But my whole goal here was to stop thinking, to have fun, and just play and try and bring some more energy to this canvas through just joy, basically, just having a good time. And this video wasn't actually one I was planning on posting. This was actually just seemed like a good opportunity to talk about resetting when you're overthinking, because that's exactly where I was. And this was, this was just kind of a play piece. I did have a sketch that I was working off of, and I'll show that to you here. But other than that, really, I was just playing and seeing how the lighting, everything would work. But I'm also going to show you how just because we reset, that doesn't mean it's not difficult to fall back into overthinking. So you're probably going to be able to tell at a certain point when I start overthinking again, because the energy and the chaos and the movement that I create in this beginning part, you'll see where that slowly starts to go away. And it's almost kind of like the like Benjamin Button. It's kind of, I'm working in a reverse direction here. Speaking of Benjamin Button, if just kind of go off on a little tangent here, I read a book called The Confessions of Max Tivoli by, it was Andrew Sean Greer. I'll put it put a comment in the description with that. But great book, and it's kind of based on that similar kind of thought pattern about a man who appears to age backwards. So anyway, getting off topic here. But you can see now I really like this. It definitely has kind of a graffiti look to it. It's very raw, but it definitely has this chaotic energy to it, and I was loving that. But we'll see pretty quickly how I will start reworking this painting, and I start getting back in my head, and I start overthinking, and I don't pick up on that. So, even though we can do these exercises and we can play and get out of our head, it's very easy to fall back into that. So, one of my takeaways from doing this video and doing this painting was to set a timer. I'll probably do like a 15 to 20 minute timer to kind of check in. Check in with myself on how the energy of the painting is, and whatever that might be. I mean, it might be a very calm and subtle painting, but I need to look at that and see how that energy is. Or it might be chaotic and very energetic like this, and very dynamic. But also to check in to see how I'm feeling about the progress. And obviously that kind of depends on the style that you're working on and working with. But something I'm definitely going to take away from this experience is to just check in and see how things are going. So we're setting our mind from overthinking by making and embracing chaos on the canvas or whatever surface that we're painting on can have some surprising benefits for our creative process, like freeing up our creative flow. So by letting loose with spontaneous marks and colors, we kind of break free from rigid thinking and over planning, and this approach can help us get out of our head and allows intuition to guide our brushstrokes. So it also reduces our fear of mistakes. Starting with a colorful mess kind of shifts our mindset away from perfectionism. And right here, this painting, again, it has very much a graffiti and raw look to it. But as I was painting this, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm glad I'm recording this because I would like to come back and do something like this, because I really like the energy in this. But I had a direction that I was kind of thinking of, so I decided to go that route. Again, you'll see me start overthinking that and pulling away from some of the energy that is there now. But you're less likely to worry about making the right mark, and that helps kind of dissolve fear and encourages bolder and more genuine expression. And creating chaos can reveal unexpected inspiration. So the chaos or the chaotic base layer can spark fresh ideas and lead to surprising forms and textures and compositions that we might not have really envisioned. And this can add richness and depth to our painting as we begin to rework and refine it. And that was kind of my goal with this, was to still allow some of that chaotic underpainting to show through in the end. And it does. And I'll show you some close-ups at the end where you can still see some of those marks. But, I really liked this portion right here, this spot. And again, I started overthinking and it started to overpaint. And I think that kind of pulled away from that raw energy. But again, I did have a direction that I was trying to go in. So, that's okay. That's why this is kind of a play painting. This what it's about. I can always come back and rework it. I can always create another chaotic mess if I want. So it's about playing and experimenting and just seeing what grabs you. And creating that chaos and working through that and kind of resetting your mind, that can help boost problem solving skills. So when we begin reworking a chaotic canvas, we engage in creative problem solving, finding shapes, balancing colors, and adding layers, and that can train our eye and improve our composition skills. And then it helps us create authentic expression. So allowing spontaneity and chaos invites our true creative self to emerge, which often results in more dynamic and authentic abstract art that resonates both with us and our viewers. So at this point I started noticing these two thin shapes on the left, and started thinking they kind of look like fingers, or a thumb and a finger, kind of like something's being held in the palm of a hand. So I started kind of going in that direction. And although I was working off of this sketch, this was a play painting. It was kind of intuitive. I was just seeing where this was going to take me. And the thumb and the finger, that's kind of where it started going. So it's like, well, let's just try it. Let's see what happens with that. So if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. And as always, if you have any feedback, best practices or questions, or want to leave me a comment on the direction you think I should take this painting in at the end, feel free to leave me a comment. So I'm trying to get some warm colors in there now to just kind of balance all the greens and blues. And I will continue to rework that, and I'll jump ahead just a little bit here. But you can see the little kind of triangle section that I was just working on. You can still see the dotted tissue paper that I put down. In the very base level, you can see some of the drips still and some of the marks that I created. And like I said, several of those will remain at the end. But you know, when I look at this again tomorrow, I might try and go in a little bit different direction. Or I might look at it and love it. You know, I don't know. But I will show you, I did stop recording at a certain point, and I'll show you what it looks like once I kind of stopped, found a good stopping point, or kind of realized that I had been overthinking so much that I needed to stop. And at some point you'll see that I'll remove some of the paintings from the background. Again, I'm kind of playing with the recording aspect of this just to make sure I'm experimenting a little bit with how I want to have this set up so I can do larger paintings and not have a lot of distraction with that painting. And I started thinking those paintings in the background, they were ones that I had put up that I was still kind of working on. At some point I'll kind of go back and try and finish those up, and started thinking those maybe are there's maybe too much in the background, and it's too busy. But you can let me know on that if you feel that matters or not. Maybe it doesn't. But if you look at this now and you compare this to when I was talking about how it looked like graffiti, very different. This is definitely more toned down, and although there's still some kind of vibrant colors with the greens in there and in the orange, definitely has a completely different feel now than the more graffiti looking version of this. And I could have probably still gone in the direction with the graffiti and made that work, I think. But again, I kind of had something in my mind. Not sure it was I don't want to say it wasn't the best decision. That was the whole goal of this, was to play. So I'm glad I did this, but I'm glad I also have a recording of that earlier version of this, because I do think I will probably go back and create something else. Now you can see that I've got a thumb and a finger there. My son walked in while I was painting this and thought, oh, that's kind of creepy. And you know, as I'm going and I'm in my head, I wasn't even thinking that. So maybe this would have been better for around Halloween. But I'm starting to see a face a little bit in that that is kind of resting in some hands. Now again, this is abstract, so you know what the rest of it is, I don't know. But it again just kind of saw direction and kind of went there. So here's some close-ups to show you that, and I'll show you the end result. And actually, when I flip it around in a different orientation, it definitely looks more like kind of an alien or something. But you can still see that I've got some marks, some of the writing that I put down. So here's the final, as it is right now in that version. And then here is the one, kind of has two eyes at the top and a little bit of a mouth, and then some other orientations. So thank you for watching, and keep on painting.